Hey guys, Adam Hart here. Here's what it's like playing Hitman World of Assassination on the PS5 for the first time. So with the PSVR2, there's a lot of new features, so let's start out with that. So there's a new way to disguise yourself. You can grab their clothes off of them, pull it towards you, let go, and then you change to their clothing. So it's a new physics-based movement now. There's dual wielding, manual reloading, sniper scopes, and there's a lot more manual interactions. So you can do things like holding a battle axe in one hand and a pistol in the other, and you can dual wield anything else like distraction objects. You can cross your arms, like shooting across your body and throwing across your body, taking out two guys sitting in a chair at once, activate lasers by slightly pressing down, and then once you press down the full way you shoot. This also works with assault rifles. Dual wielding is really useful when you're between two enemies, and you can shoot both at once, or focus on one at a time and then look at your other gun, which is already in or near a good position. So it's really useful in situations like that too, and just really fun. You can't reload in dual wield, unless I'm missing something, but for my time playing, I couldn't figure out how to do that, so you have to set one down on the floor, or on a table, or holster it, and then reload like that. And just a tip for you guys, throwing one gun drops them to the floor and they'll be stunned for a moment, then they get back up. But throwing two guns or two of anything at once completely knocks them out, which is a nice thing you can do now with dual wielding. Just clearing a room dual wielding is super useful, and even if you miss your first shot, you got that second one already lined up. So that's one practical use it already has. And it's just really fun holding the pistols in front and then side to side, which sets up your next shots. So this is my first time ever playing Hitman, and I'm starting in VR, which I already find that funny as well, because I'm going in completely blind, don't know how any of this works. But one thing I noticed right away is the replay value in this game is completely insane. So if you're new to the series like me, when you finish a mission, you unlock different ways to do that mission, different items you can bring with you, different starting locations, and there's like 1,000 different ways you can kill your targets. And then there's challenges within all those different ways to kill them. And then there's mission stories. So there's different stories that actually take place, which take you through like scripted moments that happen, whether that's dialogue or action. And there's a bunch of those as well. So every time you finish a mission, every time I finish one, I wanted to replay and just do it a different way before heading to the next mission. So in World of Assassination, it includes Hitman 1 through 3. And what I've done so far is the Showstopper in France, World of Tomorrow in Italy, a Gilded Cage in Africa, and a couple elusive target missions. Now within each mission, there's lots of different things to do, and the people you hunt down are all very bad people, which makes it satisfying. And to anyone new to the series, you get briefed on your targets and any potential kill conditions. So sometimes you have to kill them a certain way. You plan what to bring with you, then you figure out how you're going to kill the target as you go throughout the mission, by hearing people share valuable information, discovering weapons and poison, and being guided by mission stories that take you through a fun process of going through multiple disguises and locations, and those scripted moments I mentioned. And in order to make it to different parts of the level to get closer to the target, you'll need different disguises. So you'll figure out how to get security guards on their own to take their disguise, and that disguise will only take you so far before you usually need to get another disguise. Eventually you can get the target on their own and take them out, then make it to the getaway point and finish the mission. And once you finish the mission, you will unlock new things for the mission that'll make it easier, but also different the next time you do it, which I touched on a little already, like starting locations, gear, unlocking permanent weapons that are universal across all missions. Now combine all of this with doing new mission stories that you didn't do yet, because some get locked off based on what you did before, and you can see why the replay value in this game is just absolutely insane.
No. Excuse me, you dropped your suitcase. What? I think someone...
A nice touch this game has is involving celebrities in your missions, and Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie of all time, so seeing Sean Bean in here and getting to beat him up is pretty awesome. So if you ever want to beat up your celebrity, now's your chance. After the prologue, I went to the live category, where you can see timed events that will go away at a certain point, and I think they do come back later, but I didn't want to miss them and the elusive targets. But this wasn't a good idea, because one, I just finished the prologue, and this is my very first VR shooter, so this is what happened. After waiting 12 hours so I could replay the mission again, this is what happened.
Keep your head down. I'm a VIP.
The confusing thing is, do you do the physical action or do you just press the button? And that's something I was really confused with in VR. So the answer is you do the physical action for things like choking, getting a fiber wire, but if you want to actually do a specific assassination, like taking Mark and slamming his head into a pen, or throwing someone off a balcony, those are just button presses you do. And I learned that the hard way. Now, climbing ledges and vaulting are also just button presses. You don't actually do the physical action like you would in different VR games like Skydance Behemoth, which is actually my very first VR game, and I'll be posting that on my other channel, Adam Hart Gaming Let's Plays, but it's just a button press in this game. And here's the thing. On one hand, it's annoying having to wait 12 hours, but on the other hand, it's fun because there's a lot of tension because you know that if you mess up, that's it. You gotta wait 12 hours. Now I'm going to list bad and good things I think there are in the game, and hopefully the devs improve all the bad things I think there are, and some of them aren't necessarily bad, just areas of improvement, but let's get into that. Starting off with DLCs and freelancer mode isn't supported in PSVR2. Hopefully this comes in a future update. Right now it's not. This is unfortunate because I want to play it on the PS5. I don't want to get on PC because PC isn't the updated version as well. And for those of you that play on the PS5 and PC, there's a lot of Bluetooth issues you get with your controllers when you switch back and forth. Not being able to reload while dual wielding, this is pretty huge for me. I wish you could just take your guns, bring it down to your torso, and then just maybe shake them and you have a mag in them. Right now you can't do that, so you have to set one down at a time. I just think it really disrupts the flow, and I love dual wielding. Now maybe you can, and I'm just missing how to do it in the game. Crates and cabinets to store bodies don't always open, and when they do, they don't always shut. That might just be a visual glitch. I haven't confirmed if the AI can actually see them when I see that it's open. So it might just be a visual glitch, but it really is shut. The body can glitch under the floor. This happened during an elusive contract, and I couldn't drag him away, which got me compromised. Well, actually didn't get me compromised, but I had to choke the guy out so he didn't cause any more trouble for me. But this is just inconvenient. This only happened a couple times though throughout my 12 to 15 hours of playing. I wasn't able to melee an enemy standing at a window. Now you guys all saw that hit him, but it didn't connect. So I had to quickly hold L1 and throw it to just connect that hit. Can't steady snipers with L3. So that would have been really nice to hold your breath, but you can't do it in here. And maybe the scopes can get more stable in settings, but I didn't find that anywhere. Or maybe future snipers later down the line in this game get better with that. Maybe there's some kind of attachment you can put on as well. And it just would have been nice to hold L3 in order to steady it. Now, perhaps this is less of a problem with people more experienced in VR, but I just found it really hard to keep the scope steady and not being able to stab in the torso. So you can slash sideways and you can hit them on top of the head, but you can't actually stab them in the torso. And as you guys see right here, I went from the bottom and then went up, but I didn't connect that hit. And I just feel like this game is missing some kind of gut punch, like a gut strike. That would have been really nice and satisfying. But speaking of the head, it is hard to hit the head when using melee weapons from behind, and I usually end up just hitting their upper back and then their head, especially with the robotic arm. But this, again, may be just the fact that I'm new to VR, but this is a difficulty I found, and I feel like something could have been working better there. There's a possible addition in there somewhere to make this easier. And lastly, all the locked off content. So it is one thing to just have to pay more for more missions. I don't really mind that. I'm used to deluxe editions. But the part that bugs me is not only is there this big block to buy the deluxe pack, that you see all the stuff you're getting with that, but then there's all these single packs in addition to the deluxe. So even if you buy the deluxe, there's all these single packs that you're still missing out on. So you're missing out on a lot of content. In order to get all the content in this game to play it all, you'd have to buy the deluxe and all these single packs. And that's just adding up a lot of money there. And I feel like everything should have just been included in the deluxe edition. So if you pay more money to get something, you get the rest of all the locked off content. With all that being said, there's a lot more good things in this game than bad. So if you guys do get this game, you're going to have a fun time with it. You're going to find it fun. You're not going to be yelling at your screen the whole time. Unless you fail an elusive contract and have to wait 12 hours. But now let's get into the good things in this game, such as the new PSVR2 features this game has and the replay value, which I mentioned earlier. Those things are the biggest standouts. Mission stories being selected in the game. When you select a mission story from the main menu, then go into the mission, you'll be guided throughout the mission. You'll see a green marker. You go to that to complete the mission. And when you do that, you're going through all kinds of awesome events and dialogue and new actions that you get to take part in because you followed those missions. And this makes your targets, the people you're trying to kill, do different things then and go through different areas. For example, finding a code to give you access to a safe so you can make a phone call, which makes one of your targets go to an underground bunker and then you can kill him. But when you complete that mission, Then you can pause, select a different mission, and then you'll begin a whole different mission story, which is then indicated again with that green marker, and you can go to it and do a whole new mission story. You can keep doing this as many times as you want until some of the mission stories will then be locked off, because not all of them can be accessed in the same run. So some will lock off other ones, but you can keep choosing different ones as you go. So this is something I feel like a lot of games would just make you go back to the main menu for, but here you can do it in game, and I really like that. Being able to throw bodies when pressing L3, which might not be intended, but I love being able to speed up hiding a body, plus it's funny, and being able to surrender. So those are a bunch of really good things this game has going for it, and the weapons, there's a lot of them, they feel really good. There's a lot of melee weapons as well, and I think just the biggest one, and if you're already playing Hitman, you know this, that you've just an insane amount of different options per mission. But the reasons I listed right there are like the standouts for me that make me really enjoy this game. If you guys are still watching the video at this point, just want to thank you guys for still being here and hope you guys are enjoying the video. So now we're going to get into my favorite parts of my experience so far. World of Tomorrow mission, and there was this observatory, and I opened it up, and at first I was like, well, I opened it up and I'm not able to use the telescope or anything, so I just kind of forgot about it. I hid in a crate when I got the target's attention. He came over to me, but instead of just going to the top of the steps and saying, where's this guy, and just leaving, he uses the scope because I opened up the observatory. I was able to use that as a distraction. I got out of the crate, I domed him in the head, and then while in crouch mode, I looked over, saw a guy, and threw a knife at him, and then I went on to kill the next guy. And I just thought that flow to that fight was really enjoyable and also unexpected. Games constantly surprise me like that. Another favorite moment of mine is becoming the old headmaster to a school, because I may have thrown a brick at his face and took his clothing, and finding a battle axe at the top of this roof, which I never found before, then chucking it all the way up into the air and landing on a drill sergeant in the middle of performing exercises. And then after that, I dual wielded 2 pistols and just rained down bullets on them. Dual wielding on my target and then snapping my guns to either side. And so the last thing those soldiers saw was Agent 47 T-posing. That was the last thing those guys saw before moving on to the afterlife. And then just going throughout that whole part, dual wielding AK-47s, and that area reminds me of Vacant from the OG Modern Warfare. Just went crazy in that area, dual wielding weapons. That was amazing. Choking someone out and sliding a knife out last second before he saw me, that was really hype for me. My very first time sniping, that was just incredible. Even though I had a lot of trouble with the scope and controlling it, I had a lot of fun with that, and that's actually one of my favorite weapons to use. And then lastly, just visiting all the places around the world. That was a lot of fun for me. The places are really interesting. There's a lot of people there, and a lot of activities taking place in each one. And I've just barely scratched the surface of this game, and I've already felt like I've had a ton of content, so that's something you guys can look forward to if you do ever get this game. And hope you guys enjoyed me going over the good and bad to this game, as well as talking about my experience. And if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe for more. My Hitman playlist will be down below. Also, if you guys want to check out my VR Let's Plays and also Let's Plays on any game, check out my second channel, Adam Hart Gaming Let's Plays. And that's where you guys can see me play Hitman, Skydance, Behemoth, Gorn, a whole bunch of other VR games, but also flat screen games as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe for more. Leave a comment as well so it helps the video out. And thanks for watching.